Welcome to an Origin of Energy lifestyle clip. So what I'm going to be going through is how to make kefir. So first up here, I've just got some kefir that's been going for 3 days now. Normally 2 to 3 days is fine, depending on the temperature. So it's quite warm today, so this will probably go in 1.5 to 2 days. Or you could make it less thick and do it a bit quicker. We use kefir grains here, and it's cosmetic kefir as it's sold cosmetically because we use cosmetic milk as well. Sold cosmetically. You can choose to do what you want with it for yourself, but by law we have to sell it, and I'm teaching it that way. So from here I just chuck it into the strainer. Now this is a little bit thick, so ideally I wouldn't have left it quite as long. Just makes this process a little bit harder. And normally I just do 1 bottle of milk at a time. We just had a bit more extra milk, so just did, I think it was almost 2 bottles. Just want to make sure whenever you put the milk into the container that you're making it in, you leave a bit of room at the top so it doesn't bubble over, because it does, there's a pressure that's created and it'll release, and then you'll get kefir everywhere. It's not a good look. Gets a little bit messy. So to keep things clean and simple, just leave a little bit of space at the top of your jar, and you want a good airtight container so that lacto fermentation occurs. So you need to make sure that there's no oxygen in there, so that way you get the anaerobic bacteria proliferating and consuming the lactose, the milk sugar, and converting it into fatty acids, which is why it's going to be better for you after, as well as obviously the proliferation of various bacteria strains. So you could potentially use pasteurized milk because you're going to have that kefir culture the milk anyway. So you could use a good high quality organic pasteurized milk, but I just prefer to use this. You'll get more nutrients from it in the end. Just got the kefir going through the colander now, so it's just dripping away. This is a little bit thick, so it's going to take a little bit longer. And then what will happen is it will go through, and then we'll just be left with the kefir grains at the top. I've separated the kefir, so the grains here are left over. Now normally about every 3rd time I'll run it under filtered water and completely clean them off. I don't find it necessary to do it every time, but if you don't do it about every 3rd time, the kefir starts to get a bit more sour because there's that kind of cheese left over. So I've just got another jar here that I'm just going to pop my grains into and fill that up. And then I've just got a bottle of milk, clear as milk, that I'm going to add to it and use that to, it's all come out. That's in there now, so I'll just chuck that in the sink to rinse off. Then you can see all the kefir grains in here. Quite nice to look at. Now these grow quite rapidly when you get warmer weather and you're feeding it all the time, because we're doing it every 2 to 3 days. We do get a lot of growth of kefir, so we give that away to people to use for themselves. Or what happens at the end of it, I'll just start eating a bit of it too, because you're converting your milk into them, and what's going to happen is that you're just going to get so many that you either have to throw them away or eat them, so it's always better to eat them. It's not real. It's going to be good and beneficial for your gut anyway. So I just poured this milk in. Now this had a big layer of cream on the top, so you do have a lot of fat, but that will change throughout the year depending on the time of year. So when the earth is closer to the sun, you're going to get more rapidly, very close, like in summer it slows down a bit. Further away in winter it slows down, but when it's at that middle distance in spring and autumn, you're going to get that rapidly growing green grass, and you'll get a richer colour in the milk, and then you'll get more cream as well, more milk as well, which is always good. So I've got that in there, and I'm just going to leave that out. Now we use a spot just near the oven, so it's nice and not too hot, but just warm all the time, and it cultures pretty quickly. So whack that over there. 2 days I'll be back, and that'll be kefir, or you could do it a bit quicker, like I said before, and make it a bit more milky. So then I've got the kefir here, and then we just whack it into jars for cosmetic kefir sales. Just whack that in there. Nice and easy. And then just whack those in the fridge and they're ready to go. Someone might want to take a bath with them or something, I'm not sure. See what happens. See you next time.